The grinders are rapidly decreasing. The grinders are rapidly decreasing. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kal Haloyam La, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Harachak Wadash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to you, Akim, pushing out this truth across the four corners during these last extra time. Kwam Yasha'Allah, Mighty Shalom. And this lesson is going to be something on the lines of the grinders are rapidly decreasing, which the grinders, according to the scriptures, stands for workers, all right? And the workforce or the labor force in this country has taken heavy blows, and this article is an example of one of many yet to come. So this article goes into, from the Newsbreak app, business. Tyson Foods abruptly closes 3 factories with 1,038 layoffs confirmed. It says Tyson Foods abruptly closes 3 factories with 1,038 layoffs confirmed. And I just go to the scriptures. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. And the grinders are ceasing rapidly. The keepers of the house in this verse is ultimately going into these top-level economists and gatekeepers of this current system and this financial growth and power. They're trembling due to the fact that this society is in a case that it's never been in before, but that's all ultimately due to prophecy. You see, pretty much making it plain, there's no jobs left. There's no work left. And the scriptures speak of this. And I'm going to get that word economy. I'll go back to it. This is Isaiah chapter 19, verse 15. It says, neither shall there be any work for Egypt. And that's talking about laboring, going to work, working a 9 to 5, hustling and bustling, whether it be by a car, plane, train, bus, boat, to get to your destination. The scripture speaks of America being likened unto a land of traffic. When you look on the back of a vehicle, what does it have on the back of it? It has a license plate. That license plate is registered. And what is that car doing? It's trafficking. It's going place to place, whether it be to work, whether it be to buy, sell, or trade. So that's what America is ultimately built on, the workforce, the labor force. And now that that is ceasing, all right, from the top to the bottom of this place, it's only going to lead to more layoffs, mass quittings, mass firings. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 19, verse 15. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt. And this Egypt that is speaking of is America. All right, that is going into in this 19th chapter of Isaiah. It's speaking of America. And we're seeing that due to what? The workforce. People not being able to get hired on these different jobs. And also you have people ultimately on these jobs that are not happy with what they're doing. They're angry, they're mad, they're upset. So the services have declined on these different places, leading to mass layoffs. As we have here, it says Tyson Foods abruptly closes 3 factories with 1,038 layoffs confirmed. It says intro. It's been a rough couple of years for workers at various Tyson meat processing plants. And ultimately, what are we also seeing in the food industry, the food chain? We're seeing the foods become more and more defiled. The scriptures say we will eat defiled bread. All right. This is the book of Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 13. And the Lord Yahweh said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles whither I would drive them. And we're driven amongst the Gentile nations, the heathen nations. All right, eating this defiled bread. And that's pretty much no strange reason that you see all these different layoffs out here. Because if the meat is defiled, all right, they're putting all this lab-grown meat into the food chain. All right, they're defiling the animals, pumping them with different juice, okay, different shots and things of that nature, okay. What ultimately is that gonna mean for the workers inside of those different factories that handle those foods and push them out in these supermarkets? Okay. And then, not to mention as well, you have an uprising in AI taking the jobs of these different individuals as well, but it's all according to prophecy. All right, the city of confusion is broken down. So it says, it's been a very rough couple of years for workers at the various Tyson meat processing plants. Tyson is the country's largest meat company and the world's second largest processor and marketer of chicken, beef, and pork. So what gives with the closures if the company is so dominant? So it's pretty much saying that this company is now having mass layoffs, but they're supposed to be the largest meat company in the U.S. and the second largest in the world. So what's going on? Well, we can tell you prophecy. All right. Scriptures say there shall be no work in Egypt. This is Isaiah 19:15. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. So the Lord is taking away the ability to go to a 9 to 5. Why? Because the economy is in shambles. The people are in shambles. Haggai 1:6 says, he that earned their wages earned it to put it in a bag with holes. Ecclesiastes 12:3 says, the grinders cease because they are few. This is Ecclesiastes 12:3 again. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. And that's going into harsh, bad, miserable times, financial hardships. People aren't going to be able to make ends meet, and it's going to have a domino effect and make it all the way into their dinner table. You're going to see the prophecy meeting you at your dinner table, man. All right. You're going to see it on your shelves, in your pantry. All right. In your bank account. You're going to see prophecy there, man, because you can't get away from it. All right. Hence this article. So it says, as it turns out, several incidents seem to be driving the closure, resulting in the layoffs of thousands of employees over the past few years. See if there's any more. It says, a massive 328,000 square foot beef and pork processing plant in Emporia, Kansas was shuttered on February 14, 2025. The closure impacted 809 workers who were laid off, with Tyson encouraging the workers to apply to other jobs within the company. So it's a strategic move, all right, that they're eliminating these workers in the processing plant, introducing all these foreign meats into the food chain, and also taking out the physical workers and putting robots in, man. But this is ultimately all according to prophecy. The Lord's will is going to stand. Okay. So it says just a couple of weeks before the Emporia plant closure, Tyson also closed 2 of its prepared food plants in Philadelphia. These plants were used to produce Philly cheesesteaks and called the original Philly plants, the name of Tyson's prepared Philly cheesesteaks. So once again, that defiled bread, okay? Also, it mentions here too, it says they also closed 2 of its prepared food plants in Philadelphia. And then in Philadelphia, they have a staple that's pretty much the Philly cheesesteak. And this has been the meat from the Tyson food plants that have been used to supply, all right, that staple for decades, man, Philly cheesesteak. So Tyson has been a part of that. Tyson food plants have been a part of that, man. All right, supplying the meat to the people. All right, all the GMOs, all the carcinogens used in the processing of these things. Now, All right. You're seeing all the workers that have worked for them on the inside for years and years. Now they're just expendable. Just apply for another job within the company. Well, the company in itself is going to be taken down, man. Okay, that's what this is a foreshadow of. And the scriptures speak of the same thing. So let's get that word economy, because it said the keepers of the house. That's going into the economist. This economy is being tortured with prophecy, man. So it says household management thrift. You see, the keepers of the house. All right, and these different economists, these financial bankers, they're coming to the conclusion that this place is going to come to a financial ruin. And we're very close, all right? And you have a lot of things that are on the table for this place and that are looming. An economic crash, as the scriptures say, a crashing from the hills. And this is just a foreshadow of it, man. Because if there's no jobs at a major plant that has been supplying meat not only to the nation but the world, and now they're firing everybody, what is this saying about the food that is now going to be in the stores? This is Zephaniah 1:10, and it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate. And that's what the marketplace is. All right, that's likened unto the stock market. And then howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. You see those graphs? They're likened onto hills. That's the stock market. That's the economy. All right, it's going to be a great crashing from the stock market. NASDAQ, Dow Jones, those things are going to be null and void. And they're being stripped away anyways. That's why you see the stripping away of this American culture. All right. It says between the two original Philly plant closures, a total of 229 workers were impacted. Regarding these closures, Tyson explained that the decision was part of the company's business strategy to operate more efficiently. It says this isn't new. The recent closures are nothing new to Tyson. Back in 2022, Tyson began a restructuring program which, according to filings with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, involved consolidating corporate headquarters and reducing expenses and increasing efficiency. You see, so with this society, all right, coming to a conclusion with the money failing in Egypt, with the grinders ceasing, with prophecy coming to pass, all right, with civil war on the rise, with a major black swan event up next, you see these different major corporate companies pulling out. They're backing out. How do we know? They're dropping the employees, the workers that have built up the very companies that have been so dominant in the world. They're saying their employees are expendable.